Hi, how's it going? This is Christy. You're following my weight loss journey and staying on routines and stuff with, even though I have ADHD and plenty of other excuses to fail. So here's my update. Kind of had a hungry day yesterday, and just as a little measure, I went ahead and tracked my food for the day just to see what a hungry day looked like for me. Now, just as a reminder, right before I started this plan, I was gaining weight and I was trying to stick to approximately 1,200 calories a day, and I wasn't really tracking any of my other macros, but I was trying to stay under 1,200 calories a day, rain or shine somehow. Yesterday, I started with my protein shake, which is 43 grams of protein because I use filtered milk. I use 25 grams of protein in a scoop powder with whey protein, and then I add another 5 grams of protein with marine collagen, which is great for your skin. With that, I had 2 boiled eggs. 2 boiled eggs was separate from that. And then I had brie on crackers with the 2 boiled eggs, and it was like a whole ounce of brie split up into 2 crackers. So it was like a snack with those eggs, but it was a pretty good meal. After that, I had 6 chicken nuggets, the Kirkland style, so that was like somewhere around 600 calories for lunch. Then for dinner, I had 8-ounce skirt steak, about 5 ounces of mashed potatoes with butter and milk and everything else in it, 4 ounces of roasted broccoli with olive oil, and for dessert I had 8 ounces of cherries and 2 gummy strips. My ending calories for the day were 1,716 approximately, but there was like gravy on those potatoes too, so it's probably like an underestimate. Protein was 164 grams. Fat was 94 grams because it was a good fatty skirt steak. And carbs was 139 grams. Now this is coming off of where I was having a couple days where I just wasn't eating as much because I was sick. So I really wasn't surprised that I wanted more nutrient dense food. I specifically went out and got that steak and made sure it was with vegetables. You know, my steak and vegetables were higher volume than say my potatoes, but those potatoes were still there and buttery. I honestly don't care what the scale says today because I haven't had an elimination yet. And as you guys know, I always weigh myself the same way. So if I'm going to weigh myself, it's going to be in the morning after I have an elimination. That's when I happen to check my progress to see how it's going. And then I always keep in mind that it could always be I had sodium, it could be all sorts of water weight. So as long as my general progress is going down, I don't let that scale freak me out. So I was asking myself, and I was like, what is this? You know, I added like 500 calories to my day, you know, and that's actually, I'm going to keep tracking all week just to see what like my average days are like too. And how come that's causing me to burn through calories so well lately? Because I can almost feel it. It's like when I'm eating these calories, and then 3-4 hours later, I'm like starving again. It's like you almost feel like you can't keep enough food in you to keep up, and I'm just like, what is this feeling I'm not used to, you know? And I kind of went through, we talked about with a grok actually, so this is our running theory, is that our bodies sort of run almost like a bear. And you can kind of see how one animal goes through 3 different types of fat burning or storing cycles, depending on what time of year it is. Okay, so let's just talk about this. You know, we have starvation, gluttony, and balanced diet. That's what your bear goes through every single year. They have their hibernation, then they go through their spring, and then they have the summer when the fattening salmon come up and they just gorge on those and eat some like sticks and all sorts of things to clog themselves up. Then of course they go through hibernation and all of that kind of depletes down, not just the fat but the muscle stores. So we have, I think, similar functions, and this is just a theory, but we've got, you know, let's say I've got fat storing mode, and it could be caused by our own behavior, like how the bears trigger their own bodies to go into storage modes. You know, we're talking about your high caloric, you're going way over what your body needed that day, you know, and that's going to adjust every day, but your body was not needing those excessive calories over what you were spending. And your body, it tends to raise your insulin levels, and your body sort of gets good at storing that energy. It thinks that you're aware of something it doesn't know. It's like, okay, if you're going to eat like this, that's probably because there's like hibernation coming up or something. I better hold until I can't stop anymore, you know. And then we get into these diet modes where we try to go into these extreme cuts, and I think we're throwing ourselves into like a hibernation. And our body reacts to that hibernation that we go to. When we cut down to a massive amount, your body freaks out and gets even better at storing its energy and its resources in the form of fat. Why would it store muscle over fat? You want it to store muscle over fat. You want it to get rid of the fat. But your body knows that the more muscle you have, the more energy your body's going to burn every single day. So it's going to ditch the high burner, and it's going to stick with that slow possible thing because it's trying to make it through hibernation. This is another toxic place for your body to be in if you want to stay at the highest possible caloric burn per day. You know, you're talking about a survival mode. Your adaptive thermogenic slows the metabolism down. You lose energy, so you're not going to be burning as much. And again, that muscle is going to be deteriorated, which will overall lower your daily needs so that the body can conserve what it thinks it has to have for survival, fat. Okay, your brain needs fat to survive. Otherwise, your brain will deplete, and those muscles will actually cause, it would cause a reverse effect. That is your body trying to keep itself on this side of the realm for you guys. That's your body helping you out. You don't know. But if we want that summer bear, the one that's out and building muscles and it's getting fit, and my goodness, would it not have to stop that diet if it weren't for hibernation? That summer bear would never be anything but muscular, ferocious, running through the woods, raising cubs, chasing cubs all over the woods. That bear has energy, right? And that bear's eating too, right? So what we're looking for is that summer bear where the body metabolism functions at its peak. Your hormones actually regulate because your hormones aren't trying to keep you in survival mode. Your hormones aren't storing up for something impending. Your hormones aren't putting up with a hard time for themselves. Your body doesn't care what the cover of Vogue magazine tells you should look like. Your body is trying to help you survive. That is one thing, the only function that your body knows to have. So when you put yourself in that summer bear body, which I believe this is what I did, instead of that 500 extra calories causing me massive weight gains, because I'm just kind of going with the flow of what my summer bear body wants to burn, my body is balanced. It is like a natural calorie burning machine. I've got excessive energy, especially since quitting smoking weed. Oh my goodness, that made me okay with being bored. So now it's like, now what am I going to do? Now what am I going to do? Now what am I going to do? Like the ADHD is just like, and outside of annoying people more often, it's going pretty well. But yeah, so that's sort of the update. That's where my mindset's going. I will be tracking the rest of the week for you guys and just kind of maybe posting what my update macros were for the day, maybe give you a little list of what I ate, just to kind of show you that I am still losing weight with like fairly regular food that you can just kind of find around your house, that I'm not starving myself. In fact, I'm eating more than ever, and especially on a day like yesterday, I go ahead and get that steak. I get whatever my summer bear body wants for that day because I want my body to know that it doesn't have to help keep me survive. You know why? Mama Bear's in charge. Roar, guys. Cheers and take care of yourselves.